I'm Tom Farnoli, Just Right Carbines. I want to thank all of you who have purchased our product. We're here today to explain to you about a basic cleaning of our gun. This is our standard model gun. Just Right Carbines has done extensive tests, and we recommend that this gun be cleaned every 200 rounds. Before you start any procedure on this gun, that you check and make sure that the gun is unloaded. We also recommend that you use all of the precautions that are in our safety manual. The first thing you need to do is you need to remove the buffer tube and the buttstock. Loosen this nut, back it all the way off. You slide the lock plate back. If that lock plate's not moved back, you will scratch the buffer tube and won't be able to get it off. Now that you have the buffer tube off of the firearm, we have to take the charge handle off to remove the bolt. So in order to remove the bolt, to further clean this gun, you have to move the bolt all the way to the back to this position. Loosen up the charge handle and remove it. And remove the bolt. Now that we have the bolt removed from the gun, we're going to run a patch through the barrel. The reason why we do that is to take any debris that's in the barrel prior to putting lubrication and bore solvent in it. So now we're going to apply bore cleaner to the brush. We recommend that you run this through 10 times. After that, you want to let it set for 5 or 10 minutes. Put the slotted tip back on the cleaning rod and insert another patch. Then you can take that and run that through the barrel. After you've taken that patch, you want to insert another patch so that you're starting off with a clean patch. Insert that into the barrel and run that through. And you do this until the patches come out clean. Just Right Carbines doesn't recommend that you use bore solvent on the outside of a gun. Now, if you have a black gun, it's been hard coat anodized, it probably won't hurt it. But I have to tell you, if you have a gun that's been decorated, we recommend that you don't use bore solvent on it. After you have, 1, 2, maybe 3,000 rounds through the gun, you're going to want to refer to the other video that shows the extensive takedown purpose of this gun. At that time, you may want to do a much more extensive cleaning. Now I'm going to show you how to reassemble this gun so you'll have no trouble. You've had the gun laying on the table, you've examined it, the extractor and everything's in good shape. So now we want to reassemble this into the receiver. If the bolt comes apart, you want to insert and hold the firing pin retainer and then make a quarter of a turn so that the half moon lines up with the hole in the bolt. It doesn't matter which way as long as the half moons line up. Now we're going to insert this into the receiver. You want to make sure when you're inserting this that the charge handle hole is straight up in line with the slot in the receiver. Now keep in mind, when you get it in that far, it's going to come to a stop because it's hitting the back of the bolt. The hammer is sticking up in the bolt hole. You have to depress the hammer down by means of a punch or a screwdriver or any other implement that you want to use so that the bolt will pass over it. Now that we have the bolt inserted and you get the bolt lined up with the back of this receiver, take the charge handle and replace it. After you have the bolt handle replaced, tighten it up. We use the 9/64 Allen head cap screw to hold that in, and that's the size Allen wrench you're going to need to reinsert your bolt or to remove it. Anytime you take the charge handle off your gun, whether it's to change it from the right hand to the left hand, we always recommend that you use a little blue Loctite on the threads. That just helps ensure that the handle won't come loose. All right, now that we've got everything reassembled here, we're going to show you about putting the buttstock on. We have to make sure that we got the bolt all the way forward. Now the bolt's all the way forward. Now we're in a position to reassemble the buttstock. Remember when we started, we had everything moved all the way to the back. Well, now you got to move everything so it locks up on the receiver. You move the lock plate and it clicks. It means you're in the dog. You move the castle nut forward till you're up against the lock plate and tighten. Just Right Carbines manufactures a wrench specifically to handle all of these sizes. Now that it's all tight, the gun's ready to be refired after you check to see that we're in the right spot. The reason why you do this is to ensure that you don't break the charge handle. When you get to this position, everything is ready to go. Just Right Carbines recommends that you wear eye protection when you're cleaning your gun. We recommend that after you're cleaning and you've reassembled the gun, that you wash your hands thoroughly. After all, we're dealing with, in some cases, lead. We want you to be safe, we want you to be happy, and Just Right Carbine stands behind everything that they do for you.